Hello and welcome to the Islamic legend. In this video, we are going to explore who was the Prophet. We all know the story of Uthman. In short, the Prophet died shortly after the Quran was gathered, and 20 years later Uthman gets it finalized and circulated. If the story was made up, they would have written that the Quran was compiled and circulated during the time of Muhammad. However, the story of Uthman creates many problems. Muslims need to believe that the Quran was not written down, even though for 20 years people memorized verses referring to itself as a book. Also, Islam was competing with the Christians and the Jews, who all had books. Therefore, memorizing a book without writing it down is an extraordinarily silly idea. What we learn from such a story is that it must have some roots in truth. This one. Leo III wrote to Umar II stating that the Quran had been compiled by Umar, Ali, and Salman, and al-Hajjaj did the canonization. That's a good place where to start. Uthman was to Muhammad, was al-Hajjaj was to al-Malik. Could al-Malik be the Prophet, or inspiration for it? Let's find parallels. Muhammad received the first revelation when he was 40 years old, and al-Malik became the caliph at that same age. The revelations came to Muhammad during a 22-year period, and al-Malik reigned for 20 years. That's pretty close, and we'll narrow it down further soon enough. The Quran has two distinct moods, some with religious elements and some non-religious. Oddly enough, only a handful of verses begin with the words, "O Prophet." Let's take a closer look. 13 verses from 6 surahs. 5 of them talk about fighting, and 6 about women. Furthermore, the other 2 verses are part of a surah that talks about women too. I think we can safely conclude that these verses are not talking about Jesus, contrary to some of the messenger verses. Let's take a closer look at surahs 33 and 66. We can see that surah 66 is very much talking about women, and surah 33 contains the very odd verse saying that the Prophet is shy of dismissing people invited for meals. Women and fighting, we certainly can't rule out a caliph just yet. Let's see what else we find. Stay tuned.